Have you ever introduced a change and expected people to just adapt, but instead you got resistance, frustration, or even silence? That reaction might not be about the change itself. It might be about where people are in the change process. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Katie Linder, a certified project manager, change manager, and coach who works full-time leading and supporting teams in higher education. On this channel, I offer real-world examples of how project management translates into the higher ed environment. If you're looking for ways to use project management tools and skills, both professionally and personally, to bring more ease to your work and life, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about the Kübler-Ross Change Curve, a model originally developed by Elizabeth Kübler-Ross. This model was initially created to describe the emotional stages people experience when dealing with grief and loss, but over time it's been widely applied to organizational change. Because at the end of the day, change often involves some form of loss, whether that's loss of familiarity, routines, control, or certainty. The model typically includes 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. When applied to workplace change, these stages help explain how people often respond emotionally as they move through a transition. The first stage is denial. This is where people may resist the idea that change is happening at all. They might ignore communications, downplay the impact, or assume things will stay the same. In higher education, this might look like people saying, "We've tried this before," or "That won't really affect my work." At this stage, it's important to communicate clearly and consistently, and to help people understand what's changing and why. Next is anger. This is where frustration starts to surface. People may question decisions, express skepticism, or push back more openly. You might hear concerns about workload, priorities, or how the change is being implemented. In higher ed, this can show up in meetings, emails, or even informal conversations where people are trying to process what's happening. At this stage, it's important to listen, acknowledge concerns, and create space for people to express their reactions. After anger comes bargaining. This is where people start looking for ways to negotiate or regain a sense of control. They might suggest alternatives, ask for exceptions, or try to modify the change in ways that feel more manageable. For example, someone might say, "Can we pilot this instead of rolling it out campus-wide?" Or "Can my department do this differently?" At this stage, it's helpful to be clear about what is flexible and what is not, while still engaging people in problem solving where possible. Next is depression. This stage might be a little more under the surface, but it's just as important. People may feel overwhelmed, disengaged, or uncertain about their ability to succeed in the new environment. In higher ed, this might look like reduced participation, slower progress, or general fatigue, especially during large or long-term changes. At this stage, support is key. This could include training, resources, reassurance, and recognizing the emotional impact of the change. The final stage is acceptance. This is where people begin to adjust, experiment with new ways of working, and move forward. They may not love the change, but they start to engage with it more productively. In higher education, this could look like people adopting new systems, refining processes, or even identifying improvements. At this stage, it's helpful to reinforce progress, celebrate wins, and continue building momentum. While the Kübler-Ross Change Curve is a helpful framework, it's important to remember that people don't move through these stages in a straight line. They may move back and forth between stages, skip stages, or experience them in different ways. Some people may move quickly to acceptance, while others may stay in earlier stages longer. There's also been an important conversation about how this model is used. Elizabeth Kübler-Ross herself developed this framework in the context of grief, not organizational change, so it's best used as a general guide rather than a strict roadmap. The key takeaway is that change is not just a technical process, it's an emotional one. Understanding this model can help you respond to change more effectively, both for yourself and for others. Instead of seeing resistance as a problem to fix, you can see it as a part of a process to support. And instead of expecting immediate buy-in, you can create space for people to move through change at their own pace. One simple way to use this model is to ask yourself, where am I, or where is my team, on the change curve? Are people still in denial or frustration? Are they trying to negotiate? Or are they starting to move toward acceptance? Once you have a sense of that, you can adjust your communication and support strategies to meet people where they are. Change is rarely smooth or straightforward. It's a process that involves both practical adjustments and emotional responses. And when you understand that process, you can lead change with more empathy, clarity, and effectiveness. What about you? Have you seen these stages show up in your own work or teams? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on project management and higher education. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.